Kayla here, headed to the border of Costa Rica. Just left the Airbnb, got about an hour to get to the border. I'm expecting a few hours to cross the border, and then hoping to pull into my new space around 3 or 4 this afternoon. The owner of the Airbnb, they're actually having a burger night with the community that they've invited me to, and if you guys have followed me on some of my social media, I go into my love of burgers. So it seems like a meant to be situation, and I'm trying to keep the faith as far as my crossing today. I feel like it would be cruel of the universe to stop me here. I don't know what this guy's doing. Oh, there we go. Move. I'm a bit irritable today. I think it has something to do with my anxiety. I think the pattern is like the 2 mornings before I'm leaving, my anxiety is just through the roof. So yesterday morning and then this morning, it was like, man, I wanted to crawl out of my skin. But I don't think you can do a journey like this without that being the case. So here we are, dealing with the anxiety, but I think it's producing some irritability. My dogs have been, one of them got in the trash this morning and stuff like that. But first world problems, I suppose. I'm really ready for this to be done. My nervous system needs a break. I have a heart issue since COVID, and this has taken its toll for sure. I'll get flutters in the afternoon, even if I've not had anything to drink or salt or, things like that. And I'm hoping that once I cross the border, there will be a sense of relief, because I don't plan on crossing any more borders, at least with the animals, or in the sense that, not knowing if it's going to work out. But yeah, so my stay in San Juan del Sur was amazing. I really like it here. Had the police not tried to extort me, I would potentially consider it an option if for some reason Costa Rica wasn't it. But that really just had, put a bad taste. So I'm excited to get to Costa Rica. I hear that the people are just super friendly, that it's a palpable one of those palpable difference in the attitude of the people. They're just friendly and happy, and so once I get through the Costa Rican or the Nicaraguan side, I got to exit Nicaragua, which I think I have to do another customs form. They may scan my car, they may search me again, all this stuff. I'm just like, but I'm leaving. I don't understand. So, but the Costa Rican side hopefully won't be as uptight. So yeah, I think that's really all I had to say for now, and I will check in when I'm on the other side. Bye. Holy shit, y'all. I am slap worn out. It's been a day. I'm just now getting out I've just crossed the border. It took me about 8 hours. At the Nicaragua side, God, that country, I'm just not a fan for myriad reasons. It's beautiful, and I love where I stayed, but the bureaucracy, and then just getting my passport stamped was fairly straightforward. That line was not great though. The pet thing, I thought I had that figured out, because I took a receipt from my little paper packet, stamped it, and another guy, I went to another window because I thought I had to go to another one, and he's like, oh, United Estados, you're fine. Okay. And then I had to go get my vehicle stuff. They have a customs form. If it didn't have sensitive information, I would post it, because it's like a relic now. It had all these stamps and signatures all over it, and because they inspected my vehicle, but the police officer who didn't speak any English, wasn't interested in trying. I mean, he was just shitty attitude. And then asked if I'd ever crossed this border before, and I said no. So then he sent me through the scanner. That was a whole thing, because they're like, oh, you're sola, you're alone, what are you going to do with your animals? Well, it wasn't that hard. I just took them out, tied them up, and drove it in there, and then I had to stand to the side and went back and got them. Like, know, but it seemed to be a big deal. And then after the scanner, you have to go over and wait for someone to, well, you have to wait for the scan to come back, and you have to wait near the little police hut. And they told me 10 minutes. Well, it ended up being like 40. And thank God I had copies of things, because I had no idea I would need copies, and there's nowhere around there to get copies. But I needed a copy of my driver's license and the registration, which I had. And then I had to go back to Aduana, and which is, you got to pay for your things that you're exporting, which really was just, I didn't have to pay for anything. They just had to sign it, or they had to stamp it. And then you have to get your exit, you have to cancel your TIP. All of that took 4 hours. And then I get to the Costa Rica side, and I had just come in behind like 3 buses of people. They had 2 stalls open to process people. So that took about 2 hours of waiting in line. And I brought the animals inside, and I'm going through the scanner after I got my passport stamped. I did get 6 months, which is nice. And then I went to the pet place in Costa Rica before I went to get my stuff done, because it was a different building. And he looked at all my paperwork, took a copy, stamped it with the Costa Rica stamp, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm golden. The pets are in. And then I went and did my 2-hour wait to get my passport stamped. Ended up bringing the animals inside because I was running out of fuel, and because they were in the AC vehicle. And so as I was exiting that process, another pet animal, somebody came, and she was looking at my paperwork, and she's like, you don't have the pet passport. And I'm like, and this is all via my translator, because she doesn't speak English. Of course, I speak Quito Spanish, not enough for this situation. So she's trying to figure out how she can get me back across the Nicaraguan border to go get the document without, because I'm alone, like, you know, I can't leave my vehicle, so I'd have to out-process my stamps from Costa Rica, in-process again on Nicaraguan side to get this document. And then she looked again, and she's like, oh, your Nicaragua paperwork expired yesterday, so you're going to have to go back to Rivas, which is a town about an hour and a half from the border. So at this point, I'm in tears. I'm just like, I don't know what else to do. And she ended up helping me out. She pretended like she did the documentation, and because the big deal was, like, now that we're in, it's not a big deal, but like I had to get my car in still on the Costa Rican side. I did my passport, animals passport, and then had to get my car in. And when they inspect the vehicle, they see there's animals, so they want the paperwork for the animals. Well, she's friends with the girl, so she just brought the papers that I had over and kind of waved them, like, I got the paper here. And so covered me. I did give her a tip. Was happy to do it. I only got like 2 months of insurance, so I'm gonna have to go extend my TIP somewhere, but that's okay. That's in a couple months. I can do that. Didn't think I was gonna make it tonight. I'm missing burger night, but I did ask them to save me one, and actually gonna make it to the Airbnb tonight. I'm in Costa Rica. I can't believe it. I'm gonna sleep well tonight. Wow, guys, what a fucking day. I don't ever want to do any of this again, ever. If it was just me in the vehicle, not a huge deal. It's the pet thing. I guess now that I know what to do, like if I want to go back to the border, I have to go to a vet and get this certificate. So it's not a huge deal. So I guess I know what to do now. So it'll be less daunting. But still, the lines today were insane because apparently the system was not working well in Costa Rica, and then on the Nicaragua side, I guess it's I guess for both sides it's a holiday. Like today's essentially their Labor Day, so they didn't have the number of people they usually have. But in addition to that, a lot of people were traveling today. car out of Nicaragua was a long one. I had little things go really well along the way. Where after I went to the scanner, there was another car that had to go through because it got lines of trucks, so they kind of let the cars in between the trucks, and he ended up in line behind me when we had to go stand in line for the processing the car out after the scan, and he spoke English, thank God, and so he was able to hold my place while I went and checked on the animals a couple times while I was waiting this forever line. And then this lady came in and she was checking everybody's documents before we got to the TIP window, and apparently I still had to go through the customs window, and I didn't know that. So he held my place in line while I went and did that, which was amazing. And then we were still probably a good 45 minutes to an hour away from the window, and another window opened up specifically to go into Costa Rica, and he heard it, and of course it was in Spanish, so I didn't know what they said, but he jumped up there and then called me over, so that probably saved me like an hour. And then when I got to Costa Rica, I dropped my passport and didn't realize it, and somebody that was pretty far away started honking their car, trying to get me, and then there was a lady behind me that was like, here, your passport. So that would have been, I mean, come on. But I'm thinking I'm going to have to sleep in the car to figure out what we're going to do, because the woman on the Costa Rica side that was telling me I didn't have the pet passport had a friend on the Nicaragua side that could help me out, but she was on holiday because it's a holiday. So, yeah. Anyway, we made it. I need a gas station like yesterday. I haven't really seen one yet, so that's interesting. Would have gotten more insurance, but I was out of cash, almost out of cash, and they don't take credit card. It's just, I don't know. Got in by the skin of my teeth, y'all. But we're here, so I don't know. That's all I got for now. So I'm gonna celebrate. Maybe it might take a minute for my nervous system to settle down. Might need a couple of cervezas to make that happen too. But yeah, I made it. I got a 2-hour drive to the Airbnb, and it'll be close to dark by then, which is not great, but Costa Rica is quite a bit safer than like Mexico and those other places. So anyway, that's it for now. Talk soon.